Hello and welcome to our mini webinar for April. My name is Kelsey and I'm with Revival Health Center here in the Des Moines Metro in Clive, Iowa. I own it with my husband, Dr. Drew Oblenis, and it is a chiropractic wellness center. We love what we get to do. We get to see people truly experience the power of chiropractic, and we get to educate people on wellness. So each month we do like a little mini webinar on different topics, not only to bring awareness to these topics, but also to create solutions, to find solutions for people. So again, April being spring and all, we want to do a spring cleaning for the home and body, just bringing awareness to the things that we're exposing ourselves to, as well as giving you solutions on instead of using this, use this. So we're going to jump right into it. How did we get here? So we got here through our own health challenges. It has not always been easy, and we've learned a lot over the last several 5, 10 years. But we got here because when we were 23, my husband was diagnosed with chronic myeloid leukemia. So that was kind of our fork in the road moment of not only how we wanted to handle the cancer and approach the cancer, but how we wanted to approach and manage our health moving forward. As a couple, as a family, at the time we did not have our son, but we knew we wanted to have children eventually. And so again, it was our fork in the road moment of how can we best support his body, not only because of the cancer, but in general. How do we support our body in health and healing and wellness? So what we did at the time, and even today, this is still our core, our foundation, our pillars of health, so to speak. And so this is what we concentrate on a daily basis. Mindset, having a mindset that we were designed to heal. Having a mindset of gratitude and positivity has a huge effect on us physically, mentally, emotionally, spiritually, of course. So mindset is a big one. Chiropractic, people misunderstand this a lot. It is not actually about neck and back pain. It is about the nervous system. That is the core of chiropractic, is making sure that the brain is able to send the message down through the spine, out through the nerves to every single cell, tissue, organ, gland in the body. So especially during the acute phase, we wanted to make sure that his body was functioning at a high level and that there was no interference in that communication, even today. So not only in acute cases, but in long-term care, we wanted to make sure that your body in general is functioning at a high level. Nutrition is not just calories in, calories out. Nutrition is truly about communicating different things in the body. So there's food that is life giving, and then there's food that is disease building. And so just making sure you're eating a good, balanced diet, nutrient rich, nutrient dense, real foods that can communicate health to the body. Movement, whether you like it or not, it is a genetic requirement to move our body every single day. This is communicating a lot in our body as well. It's bringing oxygen to every single cell. It's moving circulation, blood, lymph, detoxifying. Of course, the topic of today, detoxifying. So it's moving, getting rid of waste throughout the body. So lots of different benefits to movement and exercise. And then, of course, number 5 is minimizing toxins, which is our topic for today. Just getting rid of the excess exposure to things that our body that bogs our body down, right? Getting rid of things that create symptoms and disease. And yeah, so we're going to do some solution finding today. What I want you to know, though, number 1, is that your body was incredibly designed. It has a natural detox process and natural detox pathways. So it was made to detox. It was made to get rid of the things that is not necessarily good for us to be exposed to. However, the problem nowadays is we are getting bombarded, and our body is overburdened with so many of different things that we're being exposed to. And so think of your body like a bucket, right? And so if we're filling that bucket with toxins, we have holes at the bottom of the bucket that filter through, right? But today, because we are being exposed on a bigger scale, it is getting filled faster than our body, and our detox pathways can actually filter through, right? And that's where we start to see when it starts to fill up faster than it can process through or filter through, and it starts to overflow. That's where we see symptoms and disease come from these toxic exposures. So our detox pathways are our liver is our primary detox organ. Our skin, our kidneys, our lungs, and our gut or our small intestine are all ways that our body is trying to get rid of these toxins. I love this little breakdown of this little illustration, and I want to walk through it. It's from Dr. Jess, MD. If you don't follow her on Instagram or Facebook, I highly recommend it. She's really big on on detox in general and just making sure that we are properly supporting these organs so that they can do the job that they were created to do. So, um, how do toxins enter? They enter through us breathing, right? Us breathing them in through our lungs, through our skin, things that we expose ourselves to in and around our body and our skin, and then things that we ingest orally through our gut and our small intestine. It goes to our liver, which is again our primary detoxification organ. It filters through, and then it should exit through our skin, kidneys, colon, or lungs. So that is the ideal process that our if we come in contact or exposure to a toxin, that is the ideal process it goes through. However, if again, if we're being if we have too much exposure and our liver is unable to handle, or our body is unable to handle that load, and our bucket is getting filled too fast, and we have excess toxins, it needs to be stored away, right? And so typically what happens is, depending on what type of toxin it is, if it's a fat soluble toxin, it typically will get stored away in our fat cells, bone marrow, liver, even our brain, our central nervous system. And if it's a water soluble toxin, it typically will get stored into our joints, blood, tissues, or muscles. And that again is where we're going to start to see side effects and disease build from that, because our body cannot process through those. They're just getting stored away. And so again, I just like this little breakdown, and it really illustrates what our body is designed to do, and the problems that come with excess exposure. Okay, so exposure. How are we exposed? It's all around us. So our environment, our home, office, car, outside, etc. All areas that we can be exposed or breathe in, or have these things around us. Household products, our personal care products, the food that we eat, and the water that we drink are all areas that we are exposed. So top offenders, I'm not going to go through like in great detail of these, but these are kind of ones to be looking out for. Ones that if you flip over your products that you have at home, that you might start to see some of these labels or these names. And these are if you want to say the top offenders, or very common. However, they are getting more sneaky on the way that they're putting them onto labels. There's lots of different names that they can go under. So, for example, fragrance, natural fragrance, perfume, all of these names. Even if it's natural fragrance, doesn't mean anything. This is strictly umbrella term. They can put a whole cocktail of chemicals or toxins under that name, fragrance. And so we're always leery of fragrance. Phthalates is a way to make a substance. It's a chemical concoction that makes a scent last longer. So things like your perfumes or your air fresheners, or your what was I going to say? Shoot, things that have a scent that they want to last longer, are known as phthalates. Formaldehyde is in a lot of things, in your cosmetics and your nail polishes and your shampoos, conditioners. This is a preservative, and oftentimes it's formaldehyde, or they can be released by other preservatives as well. So just be leery of this. You want to look out for something that says formaldehyde free, or companies that strictly ban formaldehyde because of their standards, their integrity, and their transparency. So formaldehyde, SLS is sodium lauryl sulfate, oftentimes used to make a product foamy or sudsy. So think of your soaps, your hand soaps, your shampoos, things like that, or dish soap. So look out for SLS or SLES, sodium lauryl sulfate. Your parabens, dyes. There are often, oh, what is it? I gotta look. Dyes have tons of risk to making, of course, a product a different color, like blue, yellow, orange, whatever it might be. But it says that it takes up to 25 synthetic chemicals to make one artificial dye. And so there's lots of different chemicals that are in one particular dye, even just one dye. So oxybenzene is often used in sunscreen, as well as moisturizers, lip balms, lipstick, etc. It is, let me see. Yeah, all of these different things And then triclosan. Triclosan is often used as an antibacterial, used in hand soaps, sprays, things like that. All of these different things, though, have been linked to many different health concerns, such as cancer, hormone disruption, things like infertility, endometriosis, neurotoxins. So that means it's getting into the brain, skin irritations, respiratory irritations, things like asthma, reproductive issues, developmental problems for the unborn, again, fertility issues, etc. So there's lots of different health concerns that even these alone, this is just 10 out of like thousands, right? Another thing to note is that oftentimes the US, things that are banned in Europe are not banned here. So that is also something that should create a question mark in your head is like, okay, well, if it's banned in Europe, why is it not banned here, right? Why are we not following the research here in the US? Because there's not a lot of regulation and it hasn't been updated in over 100 years. So, solution again, elimination is hard to say. However, I think it's really important to know we can and have the ability to reduce or at least limit our exposure as much as you can. So you have a lot of control over the your own environment and your own family unit typically. So it doesn't have to be all or none. I would say any sort of change in the right direction, taking a couple things to start to introduce or to change out is better than nothing. So some resources for you, the EWG website, they also have the Healthy Living and the Skin Deep app. Those are great to download and to start looking through some of your products, as well as Crunchy with an I is a cosmetic and skincare company, and Beauty Counter, again, cosmetic and skincare. These are all great resources for you to start to truly understand different ingredients in products, what they have banned and why, because of the different things that go along with these chemicals or toxins, the health concerns that come along with them. So ditch and switch, we're going to quickly go through a couple different lateral changes that you can make in your home to make a big difference. Again, it's not all or nothing. Pick a couple things if you have to start there and make some lateral changes. So instead of buying this brand or this product, buy this one. So something like Febreze or an air freshener, highly recommend to skip those and instead just buy a simple plant, right? They're super cute to have around and they're a great natural way to purify the air, detoxify the air. Another option is an air doctor. We have this both in our home and office to purify the air. And then if you do want a scent of some sort, instead of something like an air freshener or candle, diffuser. So you simply add water, you add in some essential oils, and poof, you have a scent in the air if you want that. Down from there is you can see is Myers brand that typically is found in like Walmart or Target or wherever. This is kind of like greenwashing. So they got a clean green label, but they are not actually that clean or safe to use. So skip the Myers, skip the seventh generation. And in our household, we use doTERRA. This is definitely a safer, more effective option. We use it for our dish soap. We use it for our dishwasher. We use it for our laundry detergent, our hand soap, our sanitizer, all sorts of different things that we use doTERRA brand for because we know that they don't use some of the chemicals that most conventional ones would use. Cosmetics, again, for women, this is a really big one. Instead of using CoverGirl or Maybelline or anything like that, use Crunchy. They are an awesome brand. If you want to look into them, they're not only cosmetic, but it's actually skincare. Like the things they're using in their foundation is actually really good for the skin in general. So Crunchy and then Beauty Counter as well. They have cosmetics and skincare. So up there, instead of using Neutrogena or I forget the one of the famous ones. But yeah, instead of using some other like store-bought skincare regimen, use Crunchy or Beauty Counter. That's typically what I use as well. Sunscreen, like I mentioned, they instead of Banana Boat, use doTERRA. That's what we use. They came out with a whole sunscreen line last summer, I want to say, and it's great. They have 3 different options. They have a stick, they have a lotion, and a spray, and super clean, super effective. And another option would be the Badger unscented or the Think Baby is if you are in a bind and you're at a Target or something. I think the Think Baby one is relatively clean, so you can snag that too. As far as food sources, I'll go through that in just a second, but candy is loaded full of natural or artificial dyes and artificial flavors. So instead of giving your kids any of that or you any of that, Skittles, Starburst, gummy bears, any of that stuff that has is loaded full of that. Yum Earth is a better option. It is still sugar. I want to be very clear about that. It's still sugar, organic cane sugar, but it doesn't have any of the nasty like dyes or artificial flavors. So that's an option. As far as food, again, we ingest a lot of our chemicals through our food sources or our water. These are some brands to look out for that will automatically start to eliminate some of your intake on chemicals or toxins through your food. So, your meat products, we love Force of Nature. If you have a local farmer that you can contact to get you grass fed meat, even better. Colonal. Supernatural dairy products is another great one for dairy products. Primal Kitchen, Siete, Lesser Evil for a lot of our snacks for our son, and then Vital Farms for eggs. Again, if you have a local farmer, talk with them, figure out a way that you can get some really great local products and reduce your exposure, right? How to support your detox pathway. So, really quick, now that we know kind of some offenders and some the reason why you wouldn't want those around your body, these are ways you can best support your body and its natural ability to detox and rid yourself of these. So, sweating, if your body is not sweating on a daily basis, that's a really big sign that you have that your pathways are not open and are not getting rid of the toxins that you need it to. So, sweating, so infrared sauna, exercise, movement in general, making sure that you are sweating at least several times a week, if not daily, right? Dry brushing, so you can go to Walmart or Target and get a dry brush, and simply just you can go to YouTube and someone can show you exactly the direction and reps to do to um, uh, help with lymphatic drainage. Okay. Making sure that you have a BM every single day, making sure that you are taking control of your gut. Enemas, colonics, citrus items all help to kind of mobilize and make sure that you are eliminating waste every single day. That's a really big one. Castor oil packs. This is helping to support the liver. So you can go to Amazon. My favorite brand would be the Queen of Thrones, and it comes with the oil and the pack that you put over your liver, and you can just sleep on it for throughout the night. Helps to support and kind of filter out the liver toxins from the liver. Emotional work and breath work, and then another good one because a lot again. Sorry. Um, Toxins oftentimes are stored in our tissues or in muscles and things like that. So when we can do emotional work or breath work and release some of that tension or some of that trauma that's left in our tissues, we often release some of the toxins as well. Bitters, digestive bitters, helps with digestion as well as your liver. Massages, again, breaking up some of that tissue or that muscle, releasing some of that stuff in there. Herbal teas, hydration, making sure you're drinking enough water that can flush out some of those toxins. And then, of course, chiropractic. So, again, it's not about neck and back pain, it's making sure that your body is able to properly communicate and do the job that it was designed to do. So, if we have a natural detox process and a natural detox pathway, we want to make sure that the brain is freely able to communicate that to the organs it needs to. So down the spine, out the nerves, to your kidneys, to your liver, to your skin. And so it's making sure that that communication line is free and clear. So some supplements to support. Activated charcoal, again, is helping to bind to those toxins and pull it out and making you go to the bathroom, essentially. Max Cleanse is the one we have here in the office. It's actually our product of the month. So it's 15% off. But again, what I like about this in particular is that it has artichoke extract, so it helps to get rid of some of like it helps in our hormones too, to help get rid of some of the excess estrogen that oftentimes we have. Magnesium, not only good for sleep and mood and that, but it's also good for our digestion as well, helping to mobilize and making sure we're getting rid of that waste. Ion is called Intelligence of Nature, also known as Intelligence of Nature. This is helping our gut lining. So instead, right now, with our exposure to the excess toxins, especially glyphosate, our gut lining is starting to come apart and toxins are able to go through freely. When you start to incorporate ion, it's starting to rebuild that gut lining and making it harder for those toxins to get through and permeate through the gut lining. So this is one of our fan favorites here in the office. And then the last three are herbal support, just for the liver and overall hormones, for yeah, overall hormones and for our liver. So, specifically Golden Thread Supreme. I really like this one because it helps to kind of pull out different bacterias or viruses or molds that we might have been exposed to, helps to pull those out and get rid of them as well. So, those are just some suggestions to help your detox pathways. If you have any questions, I think that's all I have for you today. But if you have any questions or if you need help in figuring out, okay, this is the product to use, what is the best solution for this? Or, hey, what does this mean? Happy to help. Send us a text, a message, email us, reach out to us, or if you're in the office, of course, let us know, bring in some products, and we can happily give you some solutions to those questions. So, thanks again for joining us. We love having you here. Next month is May, so we are going to be doing our mini webinar on prenatal pregnancy and chiropractic. So, all things prenatal and pregnancy. So, if you are trying to conceive, or if you are pregnant now or postpartum, even, tune in because that one's going to be a really good one for all of us, right? We see lots of families here, so we love being able to support you in any phase of pregnancy that you are in. So, anyway, thanks for joining us. Again, let us know if you have any questions, and we'll see you soon. Bye, guys.